teachers, have you ever popped on a video hoping that you could just catch a few minutes while your child or your students are entertained by something educational? I've been there too. Let's talk about a better way that we can use video for learning. Today on the Special Education Inner Circle podcast, I'm your host, Catherine Witcher, and I cannot wait to introduce you to Gemini, which is a really cool resource when it comes to videos and learning. And I was looking for something for you, and I came across Gemini, and I just cannot wait to share. So if you have ever popped on a video and said, okay, listen, I just need a few minutes to get dinner done. Or as a teacher, you're like, I need a few minutes because I've got to, input this data into our IEP system, or I need to write those notes home to the parents so we have good home to school communication. When you need a few of those moments, a lot of times we're going to video. What if video could be much more? What if video could be not just something that we use because we need a few minutes, but something that is truly meaningful in our approach to education? So as I was looking for some solutions for some of our struggles, like staff shortages, or not having therapies readily available at all times during the school, or just being able to use technology in a more accessible way, because a lot of times, our students who are receiving special education services get left behind a lot of times when it comes to technology. So these are all things that I'm looking for all the time to help truly build this free and appropriate public education that prepares a child for further education, employment, and independent living, right? That's the purpose of an IEP. And sometimes we're limiting our tools or our scope of what we're looking for when it comes to supporting those desired outcomes. Now, I know that we would all love to have, more therapies. We'd love to have, speech therapy every day. That's not going to happen in our school system. But what if we could use a resource that could be customized to reinforce what we're learning in speech therapy? What if we could truly use video modeling to make a difference without just, I'm going to pop on a video because I need to grab a few minutes, but I'm going to use this video for structured teaching. Wow, I can get some other things done. And I can know with confidence that this time spent watching this video is time well spent. So let me just share with you what the concept is for discrete video modeling. Again, I'm going to have the links for Gemini wherever you're watching this. It'll be above or below wherever you're watching or listening to this. I want you to go look at Gemini so you can see everything I'm talking about. I'm just going to highlight a few things that I know would have made a huge difference for me as a teacher. I know after speaking with a mom who uses Gemini, I wanted a mom's perspective of why she uses this at home. I know that this is something that you're going to be like, oh yeah, I need to look into it. So just go ahead and go to that link. So discrete video modeling is a really simple concept that you're going to love. So when we put on a video, a lot of times we have a lot of distractions in that video, right? Like we have really fun backgrounds that are entertaining, or we have multiple storylines going on. If there's characters involved, there's, plot twists and language being used that may be at all different levels. And we're not really sure if we put on this video that's going to talk about phonics or that's going to talk about addition, are we really learning that skill, or is this video just entertaining? With discrete video modeling, we take away all of the distractions of other things, and we're truly focused on the skill that we're looking to target. So that's all that I mean by discrete video modeling. That's a good term for you to know. Go ahead, Google it up. Really look at the difference between just, modeling something on video that might have distractions. I mean, right now, if you are watching this on YouTube or Facebook, that you can see in the background, here, I have, cars that are passing by. That's outside my window. That might be distracting to you. It might be entertaining to you to watch the cars go by while you're listening to this podcast. But if I truly wanted you to focus only on the concept that I was teaching, I would make sure that there was no distraction in the background at all. So this is not discrete video modeling. This is just a general video where I'm teaching you something, right? So there's a difference between isolating a skill and then having it, placed within a lot of distractions. So just know that that's what we're talking about when we say discrete video modeling. It's also really important that when we're using video modeling, that we have it at the correct level, meaning that we are truly approaching this and meeting a child where they're at. When we're presenting something, it's not a one size fits all. We know that, right? We know that in special education that we cannot do one size fits all. So that's something that Gemini has that's really unique, is they actually have this language pyramid, which I think I'll have to do another episode on the language pyramid because that is something that's a little bit more in depth and I love it. So language pyramid. So basically you can find out where your child or your student is at on their language pyramid, and then you can pick videos that have already been correlated to that level. So take out the guesswork. Yes, please. Right. Let's take out the guesswork based on the current present levels. And let's make sure that we have videos and skills that align with where the child is at in their language development. Now, a lot of times in our language development that we see in, special education, we see different levels. And we're like, well, do I just have to choose one level? Because in one area, a student might be, at grade level. And in another area, there might be a deficit. So there's absolutely ways to customize that through Gemini, and it's super easy. I promise you, if you go click the link and go explore, I promise you'll see that it's super easy to customize. So it's really important to have research-based materials, curriculum, videos that are leveled to where the student is at, but that includes having multiple levels, no longer a one size fits all. Sounds good, right? Sounds good not to be like, well, I think this is good, or this meets most of the child's needs. But what if you could, with confidence, say that you were using video modeling and you were meeting a child where they're at? But here's what's really, really cool. Inside Gemini, they have the ability to edit the videos that they already have. So let's just say there are videos that are going to talk about animals, and you're like, I don't want, to learn about 8 different animals. I want the video to just focus on 4 different animals. Great. You can do that. That's an awesome feature that they have. But here's what I love. Ready? I love that you can create your own videos and put them into the Gemini kind of system for your child or for your student. And you can track data in relation to your own videos. So here's why I love it. Because I'm always talking about how are we going to customize things like a transition. Let's say a transition for a child from elementary to middle school, or a transition into a new classroom. So, or a transition into meeting new people. So people, places, and things, right? What if you could make videos, put them into a system where you can literally track how many times did the student watch that? You can have them interact with things. You can have them, have some mastery assessment on it. And you can truly customize a child's experience with the video and prepare them for that further education, employment, and independent living. I'm thinking of all the things. Think about job training. This is not just for younger students. Think about job training. Okay, so when you go to work, how do you clock in? Right? This is a big deal. You guys know my brother is 45 with Down syndrome. And he's had several different jobs in his, last 20 years. And learning how to clock in is different at every job. What if he would have had videos that they could have recorded, and then he could have just watched them and prepared at home? I know in my heart, as his sister, he would have learned that process faster. It's the same thing for rolling silverware. He would have learned that faster if he would have had something that he could, truly isolate that skill and then watch that over and over. We didn't use that. We didn't use that. Now, do I think that we should use that in the future for him? Absolutely. Absolutely, I do. When I think about all of the different transitions or new people, places, and things that a student, from, preschool, kindergarten, middle school, high school, how many things would it be so cool if we could customize videos and put them in there? And again, track with data, not just you took something on your iPhone and you're like, yep, they love to watch this. No, you can actually see things and you can work towards mastery of skills using discrete video modeling. So I absolutely love everything that is pre-planned within Gemini for you. I love that you can do assessments and you can see where a child's at on the language pyramid. I love that they will give you kind of the easy way out, right? In the way of like, okay, here's where they are. We're going to click these videos. We're just going to get started, right? Like, here we go. That's the best I can do today, because sometimes that is the best that you can do today. You don't have time to do all the customizing and all the things right away. You're like, this is what we can do. Awesome. Get started. And then you get a little fancier. You're like, you know what? Let's edit these and let's make sure that these videos are absolutely in alignment with the speech therapy goals. Let's make sure that these videos are in alignment with what's happening in reading and math and social studies. Let's make sure that this is in alignment with what a child needs to support them socially with their social interactions at whatever grade level they're at. Let's put these in alignment with what the child needs. Love that piece. And take some data on it, right? Like, let's use this research-based tool that takes data and customize and meet a child where they're at. So We are struggling through a lot of different things in our school system, from staff shortages to lack of resources to having consistency between home and school. And that's exactly why I'm looking for resources like Gemini, because I want you to have the best of the best that is easy, that is simple. So when I was talking to this mom and I was asking her, like, why did you pick Gemini? Like, why are you working with them? She said that, her daughter has Down syndrome, and she at age 7 was watching the Leapfrog videos. You guys know, right? Leapfrog over and over and over. And mom was using them to kind of, buy herself some time to cook some dinner. And she really wished that her child could have speech therapy every day, but that's just not reasonable. So she said, she's looking around and she sees Gemini, and she decides, like, let me just give it a try. She's been using this for 7 years. Her daughter's now 14. So this is something that has grown with her daughter. So it's a system that they're familiar with. So long-term solutions, so good, right? We find a lot of things that work quickly that kind of feel like Band-Aid fixes, like, okay, let's get through this crisis. But what if you could get out of whatever the struggle is you're having right now when it comes to direct instruction, or, teaching something over and over and over and making sure there's mastery? What if you could get out of that struggle and get into a long-term solution, not just a Band-Aid fix? And that's what this mom was able to do. And that's what was so, just attractive to me as a, special needs sibling. And as a teacher, I was like, yes, let's stop just saying, I think this will work for a while and then we'll figure it out. Like, what if we have something that's going to work long-term? So I'm going to encourage you that if you've been looking for something where you can direct teach skills, and you're looking for maybe some videos and some support in making sure that we're getting mastery in skills, and you know that you need something research-based, and it needs to collect data, and you need consistency between home and school, I want to encourage you to go check out Gemini. And I'll be back with another episode where we're going to talk about this language pyramid and really helping just decide, where is your child or where are your students at, so you can help meet them where they're at and use things like discrete video modeling to help get them to that next level. If this is something that was helpful to you, I want to encourage you, please, every 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, every comment on YouTube, every share, it helps. It helps more parents and teachers find resources that can truly make a difference in their special education experience. I also want to encourage you that if you've been thinking about becoming a master IEP coach, and if you don't know what that is, just head over to masteriepcoach.com. But if you've been thinking about becoming a master IEP coach, I want you to go ahead and reach out and say, hey, I'm ready to level up my experience. Either it's for yourself at the IEP table, or you also want to learn how to help others through the IEP process. Just go ahead and reach out. Tell me that you're thinking about it, and let's see what would be a right fit for you. I'll see you next time on the Special Education Inner Circle podcast.